Hey, Scully.
Yar, Stinkosaurus.
Oh, Rick.
Arr-arr-arr-arr.
Good evening, we're back. And I just decided to make it 32. And see what we got going on here. We're going to be back to doing our Sir Raton modeling there. Hello, Mr. Raton. Alright, so I need to put this back on Blender. There we go. There's Mr. Raton. And we will do over here. There we go. Okay, so we are back with Mr. Raton on a Saturday night. And let's get our stuff going here again. Okay, so where were we? We were, drink of water here. Okay. So we were deleting some of this old mesh, cleaning up the mesh, and then we're going to fill in that hole right there. Try to kind of clean that up. And then that'll pretty much be our coursework. Then we'll start on the fine work. All right, that is some funny tasting water because it had my sparkling ice in it. Oh well, funny water it is. Okay, let's grab these vertices. XV, X to delete, V is the vertices. All right, I got some of these teeth here I need to select. Okay. There's that right there. So the thing with Blender, which I haven't figured out how to fix, is it will select everything behind the brush unless it's in if you're in X-ray mode. Okay. But sometimes it gets the vertices behind the brush and it's just like, ugh. Why? Anyway, I'm sure other programs work it better. But Blender's free, as we mentioned before. Okay, let's get that there. Get those there. Get those. Sure I'm not grabbing those other teeth. His wonky teeth. Yep, see I got the tip of it there, but I think from here I can get a lot of these here, even from this right here. Okay. There's that. Okay, there's that. And those guys, I'll make the brush bigger here. Well, hello, Sudux. Where are you based, Sudux? What city are you in? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Do you have an interest in Blender? Do you like fantasy stuff? Tell us a little bit about Sudux. there's that there. And this here. Okay. And cleaning up these teeth. All right, there's that there. Yeah, I had to address a family emergency, so we paused for 30 minutes. And then I just started the stream up with a different number, 32. 32 episodes of live streaming. We do shooting, we do modeling. Haven't done painting yet, but we will do some painting. Probably will paint Sir Raton. I have a portable camera that I can take into the 3D printing room so we can, you know, sit there for hours and watch it 3D print. All right. And there's, see, make sure I did I get those teeth? I did. I need to bring them back. All right, there's that. Okay, there's that right there. And there's this right here. There's the Lady of Cats. Hello, Technical Director Jenny. And I managed to get that tooth back there. Okay, so let's not get that. Ah. Here's this right here. All right, so, you know, cleaning up geometry can be a little tedious, but it's kind of fun just like whizzing through these little microscopic worlds that no one will ever see, but you have to clean up regardless to make sure it prints right. Okay, 5 people. Hello, 5 people on a Saturday night watching me, at least temporarily, work on removing Sir Raton's old teeth like some kind of dentist. All right. What else would you want to do on a Saturday night than to watch some level 37 nerd removing mesh, dirty mesh? Okay, what, let's see, that's going to be the easiest way to do this. I think probably I will use the Selecto box. Yep. Here we go. And there's probably a more efficient way of doing this, but you know what? Who cares about efficiency? Okay. There's that. Nerds are awesome. Is it cathartic? Cathartic? You know what? I do enjoy modeling. I don't do it often because there's so many other parts to stop motion, but I mean, the last week or so, actually probably last month, I've been remodeling a rental house for some people that were moving in, and I wanted to make sure that it was good to go, so I hadn't got to spend so much time on the stop motion, but I needed to keep the pipeline full, so we did all 10 Beardy episodes, so that was the shooting. And then I came up with this idea of kind of a choose your own adventure. And so we worked on that the last couple of weeks, and that's been a lot of fun, and I can work on it even though I'm tired. And object mode, 3D cursor, set origin to 3D cursor, edit. Now I should be able to get closer. Okay, now. So we did a lot of that. We're up to 10 episodes of storyboards for the Escape from Crab Island, and I got my friend Justin Davis, is a friend of mine from Fiverr. We've done projects for almost 2 years together now. And he made some artwork. And so I'll have to pull it up at some point. It's the picture of the island. Okay, so How many of your ideas are in some sort of active creation? Well, there are 15 projects up on the board. I don't know, can you see this? There's camera. Look at that. There's 15 projects up there. So there's a lot going on. And the reason why we're not focused on any particular one is because it takes a lot of time to make a stop motion production. So, and there are things that are out of my control. So like, for example, scheduling the voiceover artist. So there's a couple of the series that are basically on hold while I wait till my voiceover artist gets back from Florida. And I'm all right with that because I can work on other stuff. And then I have another voiceover artist who is, he's just kind of hard to get a hold of. But that's fine because I'm going to see him in a month or so. And then I'll say, hey, dude, when you free, let's do this. So the other thing, like I have some artists that I've met on Instagram that are amazing artists. And I'm just so honored to have them helping me on the projects. But of course that, one's in Australia, one's in Germany, one's in England. They have other things that they need to work on. And, it takes some time to ship the puppets over to them, but it's just worth having them help, the delays. So we're waiting on some puppets for a couple of the projects. I wanted to finish Beardy. All right, how am I going to get into this here without getting those? Okay, maybe I can use this guy. I need to go around that one that's hiding back there. Okay. So, when you're low budget, no budget, and people are helping you, you kind of have to work around their schedules, so it's fine. We do have a couple of puppets. They're kind of like floaty mind flayer tentacle kind of puppets. We finished the dialogue on one of them. I want to do another one, like he has a sister, but we need to do music for it. And so I'm just waiting on my other friend, Jesslyn, to become available. We'll do some music, and we'll probably have some harp on there. So technical director Jenny will play some harp on it. So there's just a lot of moving pieces when you're doing a stop motion project. But tonight we are working on Sir Raton, who looks a little bit like a pig. All right, let's put this back in object mode. Okay, is it X-rays on? No, there we go. Okay. Okay, so there's Sir Raton. Here's the reference art by the amazing Pascal Raber. He lives in Switzerland. He's also known as the Bleached Eye on Instagram and YouTube. And he is absolutely an amazing artist, and I've been honored to be able to use his art as reference for at least 10 of the puppets. So if you head on over to, oh, that is just awful. Do not mix sparkling ice with water. All right, let's just drink the water straight. Head on over to the YouTube channel and check out some of the dungeon diving series. So there's who's on there? Crackle and Pop, voiced by Sam Del Rio. There is the Barbarian Knight guy, voiced by Dimitri. There's Dragons, voiced by Jenny and Keytrick. There's Dragons, voiced by Jason and Taryn. So there's some dungeon diving stuff going on over there. This week I'm going to be shooting. We got a concert tomorrow for orchestra. But tomorrow or Monday I'll start shooting the exterior castle, which took. That's another thing that takes a while to do, is making the sets. But I'm going to be shooting the castle exterior shots. And then I will shoot some of the videos, and we'll, of course, watch that happen. And those are some fun monsters to shoot. All right, so we're down to 3 people. All right, so there we go. Try to make it entertaining. Let's try to tell some stories. Okay, so there's this right here. I need to stay. I don't know if I'm going to end up grabbing that vertex. No, I didn't. Vertex. It's just one, so it's just a vertex. Okay, I need to clean this up. I don't know if I'm going to end up grabbing a bunch of vertices I don't want, but we'll see. Oh, okay, that worked. All right, how about that? Is that going to work? Oh, that worked too. Okay. And then we'll get rid of this. That worked too. And get rid of that. Okay. So now I think we've cleaned up most of the geometry. Oh, there's an extra tooth in there. Okay. And this is just a hobby. Well, it's hobby business. Between keeping track of redheads living at my house and orchestra and Renaissance Festival that starts in a couple months and my regular day job and 8 rental houses, I was like, hey, maybe I should just have an animation business. But this is the stuff that keeps me going. I love the animation stuff. It's so much fun. I like storytelling. I got that from my mom. My mom likes to tell stories. She's a good storyteller. Brother is a good storyteller as well. All right, I have to come back to those teeth. Okay, so we've cleaned out most of that there. And it doesn't look like we put in any new holes. The mesh looks pretty good, except for his mouth hole, which we're gonna fill here. All right, we're getting there. So I'm gonna fill that mouth hole. There's a Curtis's mom joke there. And then we can start working on some of the fine stuff. All right, so there's Mr. Tom Rose. Hello, Tom Rose. How you doing there, buddy? Okay. Filling this mouth hole. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. So the first thing we need to do is we will fill this right here. Okay. And then we will cut these here. All right, and then, oh, we got some weird shapes here. Okay, so that's good. This is some kind of triangular thing. All right, this is going to be weird. Okay, I guess I'm just, usually you want to have quadrilaterals, but it looks like I'm going to end up with triangles just because of the way that the mesh worked out. I just got to fill this hole if I'm going to have any sort of success printing this. And that's what Curtis's mom said. Oops, grab something down there. Okay, there's that. Let's do this one. That one, just so we can get kind of a decent line here. Let's grab this and move this back here. All right. Okay, we got this here. Let's go back to the edge select. There's a good fill. Edge select. I'd play some music, but I didn't finish my music project. Maybe that's what I should have worked on tonight. But I'm waiting to get a synthesizer. I want to buy a Moog 25, sub 25 synthesizer. I know you're saying, Why do you want to buy a synthesizer? And I'll tell you, because it's cool. And I'm the kind of guy that just has to lust after some purchase for retail therapy. Much like technical director Jenny, who just recently bought a dress for a concert. All right. There's that and that. Okay, I think just this triangle, and I think that should be good. Okay. All right, now gotta clean up over here. It looks pretty jagged. There's that and that. And these guys. Oops. I don't want him. There we go. There it goes. Oops. Okay, let's get this here. Just a couple more jaggies to about 10 or so more jaggies, and then we can maybe fill that mouth line. And then we'll want to add some geometry to it. I should probably save this. I'm going to call this mouth hole. I could play one of my CDs. They have like 15 CDs. All right. Well, we have a fourth viewer. Hello, fourth viewer. Hope you're having a good evening. We're just cleaning up some geometry for Sir Raton's mouth because I stole. Okay, we'll just say stole. I downloaded a mouse head from Sketchfab and kind of chopped it up, made it my own, but I needed to remove the mouse's jaw. So here's the original model had eyes up here. I moved his eyes down here. I gave him some, I gave him a little mask on top that'll get printed. I kind of futzed with his ears a bit. So I played with the mesh and messed it up a little bit, but I needed to remove his jaw so that he could have a jaw that moved. There's his jaw that we worked on earlier today. We'll come back to that once we get that hole fixed. All right, we're almost ready to fix the hole. Okay. Come back to the jaggies. We are in edit mode. Oops. Extreme close-up. Okay. Control. We'll dolly in a little bit. There we go. Okay. So select those. Oops. Yeah, fill. All right. Select that jaggy and fill it. Oops. Must have got something wrong there. Okay. Fill that. Fill that. Fill that. Just got a couple more jaggies to work on, and then we'll be good to go. There's that. That's kind of good there. And just a couple more jaggies. Let's do this one. Oops. There's that. There's that there. We lost viewer number 4. Had better things to do than watch a nerd do an operation on a rat's mouth. Okay, I don't blame him. When I watch the live stuff, you know, unless it's like sports or politics, if it's art, I'll watch for 10-15 minutes. I mean, the problem is I got so much other stuff to do for my animation that it's just hard for me to sit and watch somebody else work. But there are some artists out there I love to watch, and they're very inspiring. All right, I think we're ready to try to give this a go. Now, we'll see if Alt works. Oh, look at that. Alt actually worked. Okay, and then so we fill. Look at that. We're like geniuses. It kind of worked. Okay, so now I'm going to have to cut this up a bit if I'm going to... Well, you know what? I'm wondering if that would work. Okay, let's see. Let's save this. All right, we have a fourth viewer back. Hello, viewer number 4. All right, this is what I'm going to try to see if this works. Sculpt mode, R. I'm going to try to mesh this and see if it works. I need to pull out. I also need to get rid of this. Okay. Let's see if this works or just crashes my computer. Well, it kind of worked, maybe. Let's see here. Edit mode. Yeah, it worked. Okay, just crazy enough to work. Okay, so let's then, oh, look at that. Sometimes things just work. All right, so now we're gonna, so now I have a mesh that's probably not spectacular, but seems to be holding up okay. So that was much better than I thought it would be. The art for Sir Raton is sick, by the way. Yes. If you look for, I don't have Instagram on this computer, I don't think. Oh, I can't do it on that one either. So on my OBS computer, it's hard for me to, because I use my OBS computer for my Instagram and my DaVinci and my YouTube. So I can't show you. But if you look at under Instagram to _bleached_eye, the bleached eye, you'll see Pascal's artwork, and he is just an amazingly talented guy. I think he teaches art in Switzerland, and just the nicest guy, just a really nice guy. So I've used about 10 of his characters. Okay. Pascal is an amazing artist. And then I've gotten to work with the guy here in Colorado named Nate Calderon. He's done concept art for me. I know Nate from the Renaissance Festival. Justin Davis, he's out of Kentucky. He is an amazing artist. He just did some art. Do I have it on here? Oh, that's the first version, but you can kind of see the direction he was going to. I don't have the latest version in here, but that's Justin's first round of art for Crab Island. So who else? Moritz Krebs, who goes by Black Crab. He is also an amazing artist. So we've done a couple of projects together. He's made some art for me for Grimwald's Keep, and I've used some of his art as well from his portfolio. So those are both guys, Moritz and Pascal, that I've met on Instagram. Instagram for me isn't so great for publicity. My follow count has been stuck around 2,100 for like, I don't know, 3 months. But it has just been a great resource for me to meet talented artists who I would not have normally met. So, And it's given me a lot of ideas. So Trench Crusade, 1490 Doom, Turnip 28, the Greasy Squelchy Boat. What's that called? I can't ever think of that game. It's from the same guys as Turnip 28. So definitely get to see the trends and meet people on Instagram. So hasn't really grown, but I guess maybe the 7,500 people I follow in Warhammer aren't necessarily interested in dad jokes. Okay, there's that. Gonna keep working this around. Need to start pulling this back a little bit. See how his jaw fits in. I'm just pleased as punch that this mesh is whole. Okay, there's that. Am I still on? No, okay. Thought I was on. All right, now there's the skull of Sir Raton. Okay, now let's see where his jaw is. I'm going to save this as whole filled. B10. All right. All right. Agreed. I love that you utilize other artists so often. Well, you know what? It is a blessing to be able to work with other talented artists. Okay, save as. There we go. Okay, now what to do? Okay, I need to. Oh, didn't he have a cowl? Where's his cowl? There's the cowl. Okay, and I'm gonna need to work that skull a little bit, but let's finish the jaw part of the project. Okay, so where's his jaw? Jaw axle. Okay. Now I have to, we got 5 people. That's a lot of people. Hello, peoples 4 and 5. Actually, 4 might be Sudux 17. Okay, so gotta figure out how I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. Come on, computer. There we go. Yeah, okay, now I need to clean this up a little bit. Oops, I'm on the skull. I need to go to this jaw. Oops. Select box. There we go. And edit mode. Nope, sculpt mode. Sculpt mode. Okay. There we go. There's that. Yay, more people. More people on a Saturday night. Oh, looks like I need to fix that tooth. To come back and fix that tooth.
He's got a cavity.
All right. Apparently, Sir Raton has not been brushing. Okay, take that off. Now, I need to work this. Okay, I need to work this skull so that there's enough material to support the axle, but also it needs to be kind of smooth so the jaw can go up and down. All right, I guess I can go ahead and work on the axle here. So object mode. Axle. All right, so that axle is going to be just inside that mouth a little bit right there. It's going to need enough material for the indentation or the pit, however you want to call it. All right, so there's that. So that's where the axle's going to be. So if we hide the skull, there's the axle. Now, there's not enough lip on the axle for it to rotate, so we need to select the bottom part of his mouth and go to sculpt and kind of pull some of this geometry back. It doesn't need a whole lot to rotate, but it does need a clear path, so to speak, or else I'll just be spending forever sanding to try to get it to work. All right, so that looks pretty good there. It's not too bad over here. All right, there's that there. Okay, so we need to move this back a little bit. And almost done with the coursework on the jaw. It doesn't have any teeth, but you know what? Maybe he lost all his teeth. Well, he's got a bunch of teeth there. Okay. Getting tired. It's been a long day. But I'm having a good time. We have 4 people. What 3D printer do I use? What are the pros and cons? Well, I use Anycubics, and once you get past the Anycubics quirks, the pro is that they're inexpensive. And these are Anycubic resin printers. So I've had, I don't know, 6 or 7 Anycubic resin printers, and the thing is, when they do break or they decide to crap out, you just throw it away. You can get used ones for $150 to $175. They're not fancy $6,000 printers, but I can't justify a fancy $6,000 industrial top of the line resin printer that does everything, because I don't use it all the time. Now, when I do use them, I have 3 or 4 of them that are working in the bathroom of the basement here. Unfinished bathroom. So the pro of the Anycubic is when they work, they work. When they don't work, you throw them away and they're inexpensive. The con of the Anycubics is that when they crap out, you pretty much have to throw it away. I've tried replacing screens. I've replaced I was going to replace an LCD screen, and I'm like, this is for the birds. I'm just going to buy another one. I've replaced the touch screen. One of them, the caterpillar screw, or whatever that's called, the motor went out on it, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to buy another one. So that's the pros and cons of resin printers. Now, the pros and cons of resin printers in general is that you need to kind of have a science lab area with good ventilation, and you're not worried about spilling resin everywhere. I also have 2 alcohol baths and a UV curing station and a ultrasonic cleaner. So that's just other stuff to make the process a little bit better. And I'm an engineer, so a little bit more engineer-y. I mean, you can get by with having 1 bath / UV cure and not worry about ultrasonic cleaning. But I found ultrasonic cleaning helps, because you really you need to get all the resin off. All right. That is the story of resin printers. FDM printers, I don't have one. The stuff I would make out of an FDM printer, I just make out of foam. And I don't really have the space. I've got an entire basement full of stuff. I ended up buying a Cricut Joy to make palm branches out of for my islands. I just assumed by that than an FDM printer. I don't really need an FDM printer. I mean, there's stuff I probably could print, but I don't know. I just resin print. I need to get rid of this tooth geometry. Those tubes. All right. Object mode, skull, edit mode. Let's try the lasso. Is it going to grab the shit in the back? Can't tell if it's grabbing the stuff. Yeah, it's grabbing the stuff in the back. Oh, and I still need to fix this tooth. Getting distracted by stuff I need to fix. Okay. All right, let's get rid of the jaw. Okay. Plus I made it a little bit more difficult on myself because I went to high resolution. Oh. I wonder if Chi2Box will fix that. Let's make it, let's do this. Let's get rid of this. I need to go to vertices. Come on, computer. All right. We are at 4 viewers. Hello, 4 viewers. I don't know if that's Sudux came back or if that's a new person. If it's a new person, hello. If it's Sudux, welcome back. Okay. I need to get these things. How am I going to get those things? Grab sticks. Maybe I can use the paintbrush. Oh, look at that. Okay. Okay, there we go. All right. There's that. XV, get rid of the vertices. XV, get rid of the vertices. I don't like to have floating geometry. I don't know what. I don't think Chi2Box. I think it ignores floating geometry, but I don't want to take a chance. I want my model to be as clean as possible when I take it into Chi2Box. Chi2Box is the layout software. So once you have your mesh model from Blender, you output it as an STL, which is just a format that Chi2Box likes. And then Chi2Box basically slices it. It's a slicing program. All right, now I need to work on this axle. All right, so take a drink of the water. All right, so what am I going to do here? Okay, so at some point I'm going to Boolean this, and it's going to make a hole, a pit. But I need to clean up the geometry around it so that it has a free space to rotate. Because the jaw is basically going to be rotating on this axle. Oops. And so I probably need to make this brush smaller. So I need to clear this mesh, this geometry around that axle so it can rotate. Plus, the resin, once it's cured, is not very malleable. So you have to kind of be clever about how you're going to get that axle in there. Sometimes it just means you end up sanding a lot. But a lot of times I'll just make the pit or the indentation for the axle pretty shallow and then sand off the ends of the pit so it just kind of slides in there and clicks. 6 people, that's crazy. What are 6 people doing on a Saturday night watching a level 37 nerd mess with a rat's mouth? You know, some people are just weird that way. Well, welcome people. I'm Matt Rose. I'm kind of a jack of all trades. Tonight we're doing this model for Sir Raton. And then this week I will print Sir Raton, and that will give me 5 out of the 6 puppets for the dungeon diving series. There's another puppet I need to make, who's called Kenneth, who looks like Kenneth. No, Hinneth, who looks like Kenneth. I guess they're brothers and sisters. I don't know, maybe they're married. People just don't know the relationship between Hinneth and Kenneth. All right. And that's another... Kenneth is another one of Pascal's art. Okay, we're back down to 4. We lost 5 and 6. They lost interest, which I don't blame them. You know, you're just cruising the YouTube, killing a little time, doom scrolling, and you come across some nerd who is messing with the inside of a rat's mouth. And they're like, dude, I saw the weirdest stuff. This guy was like inside a rat's mouth. All right, technical director Jenny and I, we watched a show about this doctor in Vancouver who does endoscopic stuff on pets and pulls like things out of their stomachs. So I'm not going to go all the way into Sir Raton's stomach, but we are kind of just cleaning this up here. All right, so it'd probably be easier if I did this. Okay, I'm gonna put this guy here. And more, there we go. Does this work or no? Hold on. Excuse me, I got distracted. I don't think that one's working. Okay, here we go. Let's try this. You'll have to humor me while I set up a new monitor. Oh look, it heard us talking about FDM printing and now that wants to sell me an FDM printer. Oh look, hey, it's one of my videos.
Hey, Scully! Yeah. Did you hear that Patchy was at the pub and ordered his favorite plate of fish and chips but got arrested by the port authority at his table?
Oh, really, Benny? Did he even get to eat his dinner?
No, he got cod blocked!
Oh, that's one of my favorite jokes. It's so edgy, but it's funny. And I have to give credit to Darren, my friend Darren McDonald, who came up with that joke while we were playing.
It's funny.
Sorry, hold on.
I have to...
There we go. Turn the volume down on that. All right. Ooh. Laugh my yes. Yes, you are laughing your A off. Darren came up with that joke while we were playing the penguin fish eating game. Hey, you ate my fish, or something like that. And he said something about, oh, I cod blocked you. And I'm like, okay, I've got to make that into a pirate joke. So you know what? Sometimes you just steal jokes from other people, your friends. And you know what? We're just here to have fun. If we're not having fun, what are we doing? Okay, so I think that's probably enough material. Oh, I'm going to, well, so it's going to need to be cleared all the way from the back. Yeah, there's still. So when the problem is if you Boolean it and there's still material back there, then there's gonna have more surface area that it's in touch with, and it may just kind of be a pain. All right, we lost 5 and 6 again. You know, sometimes I don't know if I trust YouTube's numbers. So like OBS says there are 5 current view. Okay, so we are back to 5. Hello, viewer number 5. You can sneak in for a couple minutes and see what we're doing, then, you know, go watch sports or something. All right. Actually, you probably would watch something more nerdier than sports. Who else would want to watch a level 37 nerd messing with a rat's mouth?
I find it fascinating.
All right. To each their own. All right. So, we're up there inside the geometry. It's kind of like being the liminal space like the back rooms. If you're not familiar with the back rooms, that's kind of cool. You should check out the trailer or look at some of the lore. It's like being trapped behind the back of a video game. So we can do that here. Whoa, we're inside the model. It's crazy. All right, we won't get too much more crazier. It's actually kind of making the inside of this rat's mouth. All right, or if you're from Boca Raton, Florida, the rat mouth. Okay. Which is funny. So Boca Raton is like, it has this crazy name, right? Rat mouth. But it's like one of the most richest places in Florida. I got to visit it for work a couple times. They got boats and stuff there. Okay, that looks okay. Let's turn the jaw axle back on. Looks like that may be good enough. Okay, let's do this. Well, the proof is in the pudding, so they say. Come on, computer. All right, so we're going to do this. Hopefully this will work. Sometimes these things don't work. There's always a plan B for Blender. There's so many ways to skin a cat or skin a rat. All right, so this, we'll call this jaw axle. Okay, apparently I'm shouting at myself with all caps. And save as. All right, so we're going to do a Boolean and see what this geometry looks like after it works. Okay, it does its little thing. So we select that. And then we are going to add a modifier, which is the Boolean modifier. And we're going to, hopefully this geometry is not too wacky. All right, so we're going to select jaw axle. And it should do difference. Okay, it's thinking. Hopefully this won't make it crash. All right, and then we apply it. Fingers crossed. I'm just using a laptop. It's not a very fancy computer. Okay, and all right, look at that. Okay, so we made the hole for the... Now what we can do is go back. So the problem is there's not a lot of material over here, which is probably okay, because getting that axle in there could be a bit of a pain. But let's do this. So, and this is a little sharp up here. Let's try this. Okay, so select this, go to sculpt, and let's just smooth this out a bit and pull it back. Okay. Oops, I hit those teeth again. All right. Smooth that out. Okay, so that gives, there's not really a, I don't really like how sharp that is, but I mean, really I'm just trying to get that jaw axle in there, and then I can use some, oops. Then I can use some that fun tack, either fun tack or just clay to get, oh, we got a fifth viewer. Hello, fifth viewer sneaking in. Hope you're having a good night watching the level 37 nerd mess with a rat's mouth. There's the rat. Here he is. There's Sir Raton, as voiced by Christina Diaz almost a year ago. Oh, we're up to 6. Hello, viewer number 6. Welcome to our crazy Saturday night with Sir Raton. Okay, there's this right here. Gonna clean that up. Oh, the other thing that was really exciting is, so I won a contest from the Pirate Borg guys, Luke and Tyler Stratton put on. This was almost a year ago, with my song and music video, So Many Ways to Die. And the book project was called Cabin Fever. And I've got my book today, and so I got to see my music inside the book, which was really cool. And an honor to have won the grand prize out of their contest of 160 entrants. So you know what? Getting recognized for your work every now and then is good for the self-esteem. All right, so there's that. Clean that out a little bit. Okay. There's that. All right. All right, that's not too bad. I'm not super happy about how sharp this is here, but I'll deal with it. Now, the other thing I've learned is after you Boolean, you need to scale down the inciting Boolean object so that it fits a little bit better, because if you don't, then you basically have to do a lot of sanding. So that should give it a little bit of about 5% play there on both sides. And I scaled the whatever the x-axis is, so down a little bit. It just needs to snap in there a little bit, and then the fun tackle keep it into place. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit around here to try to make it easier to get that axle in there when that jaw's on there. It just needs to just kind of snap in there. And the resin printers are pretty accurate, so you don't have to, you just give it a little bit of tolerance. I'm gonna pull that. I don't really like this sharp edge here. I'm gonna try to smooth that out a bit. All right, there we go. Check the outside, make sure it looks okay. That's fine. All right, so that is his jaw axle. There's his jaw. Now, the other thing we have to do is make sure that there's space for the jaw to move, or else it's just gonna stay in one place. So, probably what I wanna do is probably get rid of some of this material underneath. I mean, basically, you got to make space for it to move. We got our axle, and it just needs some clearance or else you just end up doing a lot of sanding, which I've done my fair share of sanding to get these jaws to move. All right, sculpt move. Okay, there we go. Now, let's, come on, computer. Oh, I was waiting on me. Okay, so I'm going to bring this in a little bit here. Because the less material down here, then it gives it more space to actually rotate. So he needs less material, less mesh down here. All right, there we go. So anyway, check out Cabin Fever from Limithron, Pirate Borg. I love Pirate Borg. It's just very inspirational. Escape from Crab Island, of Skulls and Gold, So Many Ways to Die. Those are all properties I've been working on or have been in process that are inspired by that world. Morkborg is another one. If you like that kind of dark D&D, grimdark, I do like me some Morkborg. And these guys are kind of Morkborgian. They're kind of whimsical. Don't take themselves too serious. All right, this needs to come in a bit right here. There we go. I'm starting to see the axle. Okay. I'm going to kind of pull this up here. Pull that up. Most of this is not going to be seen on the camera. Most of the shots are going to be straight on shots, so you're not going to really see what's going on down underneath his jaw. Plus, he may end up with these, like the sides of his mask or cowl. I don't know. I think this is the cowl. Anyway, if that dangles down, you're not going to see much of that lower jaw. All right, so we're going to get rid of some of this material down under there then. Okay, let's get rid of some of this. Sculpt mode. All right, so this is going to pull back here so that there's some room for him, for his bottom jaw to rotate. Like that. Because if this material is in the way, once you click that jaw in there, you're going to be like, oh crap, I got to sand all this stuff down. And you can only sand so far because the model is typically about 2 millimeters to 4 millimeters thick, depending on what you have it set up in Chi2 box slicer program. So kind of, there's sanding can get you some forgiveness, but you kind of have to plan it out. All right, so there's his mouth. He looks a little derpy, but maybe Sir Raton has a birth defect. I don't know. Everybody's got an interesting backstory. This is the same kind of mouth that at least one of the dragons had. 2 of the dragons. Aerith and Trith had this kind of mouth. All right, and then I think I need to bring some of this back up. All right, nice hanging out. Gonna play some Deep Rock Galactic now. Well, thank you, Sudex. Really appreciate your comments and enjoy playing some video games. Look forward to seeing you in the future. Really appreciate it. All right. Give you a little heart for that one. There we go. I can even chat. I can say thanks. Look at that. All right. Okay, now, oh, what's it doing? Okay, so this needs to kind of come up a bit. So is there room for that jaw to move? All right, so it looks a little weird, but I think most of this is going to end up getting covered up by that. I think that strap's going to come down. You know what? Nobody's going to say unlike because they're not happy with the jaw. Maybe they will. Maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe like,
I don't like that jaw. I'm going to hit unlike.
all right. Maybe not like an amazing work of art, but sufficient. Okay, so I need to move some of this off here. He's got his twofers. Oh, and I still need to fix that tooth. Okay. All right, love to see others join. Yes, it's an honor. Are you making it able to? Sorry, the things are in the way. Are you making it able to open with that, the mandible? Yes. So the jaw is going to rotate, and that will simulate Sir Raton's talking. because he's not like Tauren and Dracus of just a helmet with no moving mouth. He's going to have a moving mouth. All right. I need to get this up here. Why is that not? There it goes. Okay. There it goes. Okay. Get out of the way of these teeth here. All right. Does that answer your question, Technical Director Jenny? All right. There we go. So he is gonna have that there. Move that in just a little bit. Smooth it out. Yeah, that works. Okay. Then this needs to come in a bit. There we go. This needs to come in a bit right there. 6. Well, hello, viewers. Hope you're having a good Saturday. We are working on Sir Raton's mouth and his teeth. He's a puppet. He's in the dungeon diving series. This is his art right here from Pascal Raber, a wonderful artist. You can find him on Instagram at The Unbleached Eye. And yes, Technical Director Jenny, the Lady of Cats, we do print the jaw separately. The jaw is a separate piece that gets resin printed on an Anycubic, one of 3 or 4. I think I've got 4 working Anycubic printers right now. It's been a while since I printed because I've been working on other stuff. Been doing those storyboards for Escape from Crab Island. We shot 10 Beardy videos, shorts. And can't remember what else we did. There's that. I'm going to pull this up a little bit here. There we go. All right. It's a little derpy, but he's going to have his flaps covering him, I think. This right here. Maybe it makes him look creepier. I don't know. He's going to have LEDs in his eyes, so actually a lot of this, the mechanics down here probably might end up getting blasted out by the LED lights. So, all right, I think we're good to go on that. So now I'm going to go into object mode, and then I'm going to go back to sculpt mode, and I'm going to make this high resolution. There we go. And Control R. And okay, so now we can kind of massage this a little bit. I know some printers can print pieces that hinge together. Do yours not do that? So I'm not so clever. Sometimes, very rarely will I print out parts that are ready to go in that manner. Usually I will be printing these separately. It's just easier to do that. And it's not so much the printer as it is, I mean, if we're talking resin printers, it is just the model design. So like some of those like snakes, dragons. All right, so I'm going to smooth this out. Sudex mentioned it looking a little bit like Minecraft, meaning that it was blocky and coarse. But I start my models from a coarse perspective, and then I work to fine. All right. Technical Director Jenny says the nose looks like a possum. How am I need to, how do I make it look more rat-like? Yeah, pull up a picture of a rat, because his nose, it's hard to tell in the artwork what his nose looks like. Let me fix that tooth first. Okay. So happy with the jaw. There's a little bit of space under there for it to move. I can bring this down, even though it won't be on camera. All right, so he can flap, flap, flap that jaw. It looks like it's out of the way of the teeth. Maybe I need to pull this tooth out so it's not in the way of the jaw. This tooth ended up looking kind of wonky because it got shifted when I was messing with the mouth. That may be enough clearance on that side. Actually, I think that's probably enough clearance there. All right, technical director Jenny has sent me pictures, I suspect, of... Well, are those rats or mice? All right, so she says... Basically, this just right here needs to get kind of brought in a little bit with less, because his mask is there. He has a long nose. I guess he's gonna get some whiskers too. So this got that ridge around it that I guess makes it look possum-y, according to technical director Jenny. All right, let's see here. So we'll take the ridge out, and maybe that makes him look a little bit more ratty. There you go. I mean, his name is Sir Raton, but, you know, I don't know. We don't know if he's an actual rat or not. Maybe his dad was a possum. All right. That's a cute picture you sent. This is the picture she sent right here. Okay, those are cute. The ears need work as well. Oh, well, okay. Let's see here. So on the list of things to do, I need to work on the ears, she said. Okay, so we'll work on the ears in a bit. I need to fix this tooth, though. Okay. Oh, excuse me. It's been a long life. All right. And let's pull that back down. There we go. I need to fix this tooth hole that he's got here. Okay. All right. Technical director Jenny sends a picture of a mouse's skull. All right. Thank you, technical director Jenny, aka the Lady of Cats, who is now apparently becoming the Lady of Rats. Okay, so object mode, 3D cursor, put it there, and set origin to 3D cursor. Oh, you know what? I forgot the command to reset the access point for the camera. Nah, I'd have to look it up. All right, let's see here. See if I can get it to work. Need to be in edit mode. All right, I accidentally got rid of some geometry, but it might have fixed it. Oh, it might have fixed it when I was sculpting. Is there a hole in there? I can't tell. All right, I think Cheeto Box will fix that. All right. Lady of Cat says, I'm a vet tech. I can't help but see the anatomy as incorrect. Well, you know what? Nothing's incorrect in the land of make-believe. Okay, so there's that. And we can come back and work on his nose. I might make it a little bit. It looks like his nose is kind of snugger. All right, let's do. Okay, I fixed the tooth. So Miss Jenny said she wanted this nose brought back in. Okay, so let's bring his nose in a bit. Maybe a little bit snubbier nose. All right. It's kind of hard to see what his little rat nose looks like. Is that better, Technical Director Jenny? A little bit snubbier. All right, let's make this, and also I probably want to get rid of this indentation. 5 viewers. Well, thank you for watching tonight. I know you have lots of choices. You could watch old reruns of Cagney and Lacey, or Facts of Life, or Good Times, or Full House, or any random sitcom. Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Little House on the Prairie. But you are watching a man in his basement and a mouse with an asymmetric nose. All right, let's see if we can fix this a little bit.
His nose got broken in a fight.
All right. Oh my Lord. Okay. His nose became a little bit more asymmetric there. Okay, there we go. Poor Sir Raton. He took it on the nose. All right, there's kind of got a little piggy snout thing going on there. See if I can pull that out a bit. I might be able to blob it. Where's blob? Okay. I'll blob it and I'll smooth it out and we'll see what it looks like. Looks kind of piggy. All right. Apparently Sir Raton's grandmother was a pig. Okay. That looks like a cow's nose. All right. Poor Sir Raton. He's had such a tough life. All right, maybe I just need to come back to the nose. Okay, so she was saying the ears need some work. Well, what am I going to do with these ears? He does kind of look like a possum. All right, she says, I guess it depends on how cartoonish you want the character to look. You know what? In the end, it doesn't matter. It just kind of ends up being, it is what it is. What I want to do though is I need to get this cowl back on him and then I need to make some space in the cowl for his neck to rotate. And again, it's another situation where I didn't really want a mirror. So So I'm just going to work at it, maybe end up looking a little asymmetric. They look a little German Shepherd-like, the ears, yes. So here's the thing. It's an issue of return ROI, or return on time investment. So I could spend a crap ton of time making this just like Pascal's drawing. Or I can make it vaguely in the ballpark of Pascal's drawing, print it and shoot it, and then move on to other projects. And I'm kind of the one that's just like, it's good enough. I'm not looking for any awards on how good my rat looks, because it's really more about the funny story and the performance of Christine and myself doing the voices. All right, what is that? That's the vest. Okay, so I'm going to give you 100. Boop. There you go. You got 100. All right, so where were we? Okay, I need to fix this vest geometry so it's under the cowl. There we go. This needs to be under the cowl. Now when I print this, it's all going to be, the vest and the cowl are going to be one piece, but I need to kind of fix the, either fix his skull or fix the cowl so that the ball joint has, again, a little bit of space to move. I'm probably going to end up needing to work his skull a little bit. All right. We're also getting close to an hour and a half. And I got a concert tomorrow, so I probably shouldn't stay up too late working on a rat. Working on a rat. So it'll probably take at least one more session. Then there's no sense staying up late. So I need to do the fine work on his body, his cowl, and I need to play a little bit on the overall shape, and Miss Jenny wanted me to work on his ears. Okay, sculpt. I need to bring these, I'm going to try this here. Yeah, that'll work. I need to bring these in. Looking a little pig-like. Hey, we got a 5th viewer. Hello, viewer number 5. How are you? Hope you're having a good time watching a man sculpt a rat's head. At least his name is Raton. Maybe he's some combination of rat and possum. You just don't know in these D&D worlds who's your dad. All right, come on. Oh, that reminds me, I should probably save this. Okay. I get spoiled with Dragonframe because Dragonframe autosaves as you go along. And then Blender might autosave, but then I would end up with like, I mean, I've already got 25 files there, so. All right, we lost our 4th and 5th viewers. Or maybe they're there and I just don't know it. Okay, so it's about time for me to quit for the night. Maybe finish this on tomorrow night or Monday night. It's coming along, though. It's coming along. All right, so how... Oh, I need to bring that down. Okay, so... Object mode, cowl, sculpt mode. This all needs to come down. Get rid of this. Reference drawing. smaller. Okay. Smooth that out a bit. And turn the rat skull back on. That's not bad. Okay, so I just need a little bit of this front. Needs to come up. This probably could stand to come down a little bit. Can't really see him from the back, but it's like I'm giving him a facelift. Make that a little bit smaller. Where's cowl? Turn that off. And then vest, I think it's called. Yeah, there it goes. Yeah, all this needs to come up. Gonna smooth that out. Q-Trick just posted on YouTube. I should go check that out. I also need to watch Mark's Gen video. But it's getting a little late. I'll do another 5 minutes and then we'll call it a night. That's not bad. Okay, let's turn the vest on. Okay, that's good. That'll be where his ball and socket are. All right, we did some work tonight. There's that. We got a fourth viewer. Hello, viewer number 4. We're just about finishing up for the night. There's Sir Raton, artwork by Pascal Rayberg, also known as the Unbleached Eye on Instagram and YouTube. TikTok, probably. And there's our model. He's probably going to have a little droop down here to cover his mechanism, his mouth mechanism. And then we're going to do some fine work. Next session, we'll do some fine work on his cowl and his vest. Object mode, cowl, sculpt. A little bit smaller. I'm going to pull this up a little bit here. Okay. All right, so we've got the course or Minecraft version, as Sudux called it. And he's going to have clay feet and clay legs, clay arms. They'll be sculpted. He's got his tail's going to be this wire I got from a craft store that has texture on it. So it'll be easy to animate. He's got a little place there to plug it in. The feet were just for something I stole from a model on Sketchfab, just to kind of give it some perspective. All right, he's coming together. He looks a little creepy. All right, well, thank you, everybody. I appreciate your time. I'm going to hit the intro, also known as the outro, then go eat some ice cream. Then we'll do some more tomorrow night. All right, see you guys.
Hey, Scully!
Yar, Stinkosaurus.
Oh, right.
Hardy, ar, ar, ar.